Okay, so for this first team that I'm going to show you, I actually got the inspiration from one of Night Fury's videos, where he goes ahead and one-shots in the same video Heroic 7 Manta and Heroic 7 Darkseid using Mr. Freeze. I didn't really go for Mr. Freeze myself so far in Dawn of Apocalypse because I didn't believe that my 3-star Mr. Freeze would do much without passive artifact stats, but it seems like I was wrong. So go ahead and check out his channel, subscribe, he's pretty close to 1000 subs, so let's give him a little bit of a push. Links will be in the description, the pinned comment. And yeah, with that out of the way, hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigval here and welcome back to another video. So in this one we're going to have some fights from the main account, so there's obviously going to be some beta club action involved, so if you're not down for that, if that's not your vibe, then that's not the video for you and that's fine, that's totally understandable. But for the first one we're going to have a fight here of Raven with Dark Metal cards on to have the guaranteed crit area, and we're going to have Mr. Freeze here with the Beta Club. Mr. Freeze is only 3 stars, Beta Club is level 8, and we have a Vixen who's going to be 4 stars. In this scenario over here, Vixen is actually extremely good, because usually Vixen is garbage, because you just get so much attack from the passive stats of the artifacts that the amount that Vixen gives simply does not matter. It doesn't make a big enough chunk out of it, and you'd rather use Classic Wonderment. But over here, when there's absolutely no passive stats from the artifacts, because Dawn of Apocalypse artifacts don't split stats and we have to use Beta Club on Mr. Freeze, that attack from Vixen is actually going to matter a lot. And yeah, worth mentioning that this team can go far further than this. I only have a 3-star Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze gets far better with a higher star rating, so that's worth mentioning. Also, it's not gonna be the most ideal and well-played fight over here in this scenario, but I'm still going to try and do my best. So Mr. Freeze is already at max stacks, and there's max darkness on Red Hood, and I guess that's as far as it goes in terms of damage. I could do super move. I could go out of my way to do a super move to slightly increase my damage, but that wouldn't do it by much, because we are only 3 stars yet again, and that involves the percentage additional damage that the super move provides. But yeah, I literally have not played this team so far in Dawn of Apocalypse, and this was definitely a mistake, because I think in fights where I played better and it's a little bit of a more optimal scenario for me to play this in and keep the enemy frozen more easily and for longer periods of time, I think this team has a chance. Not saying it's guaranteed, but has a chance to go all the way to 2 billion damage. And this is why Mr. Freeze is literally the best character in the game for the pay-to-win side of things, but for the free-to-play side of things, he's not that great, my dudes. Really not that great. But yeah, I'm quite surprised that I did not get unusual gameplay, because I was so amazed by how this fight went and how much damage we dealt with no passive stat that I didn't even make an active attempt to maybe let one character die to avoid unusual gameplay. But yeah, it was not unusual gameplay, surprisingly. And talking about unusual gameplay, we're going to get into a Deathstroke fight over here. So now I have a little bit of a strategy to avoid unusual gameplay with Deathstroke that I want to share with all of you. First of all, stop using Red Hood. That might be something that might contribute to the unusual gameplay bug triggering. So don't use Red Hood first of all. And then you're going to have a sequence of specials. This information was from Dragon Warrior, so thanks for that, my dudes. And so far it seems to be working. The idea is you should not play this too good. You should not get the best out of your Deathstroke, because that's when you are very likely to get unusual gameplay. And yeah, I asked him, okay, no shit, my dude, but more specifically, what are you doing in order to prevent unusual gameplay? And he said that he has a sequence of 6-5-4, so basically the base Deathstroke is going to be allowed to do 6-second specials. The first clone is going to go for 5, and the second clone is going to go for 4. So 6-5-4, that's the sequence. And that's not getting the absolute best out of Deathstroke, but it's getting a very decent amount of it, and if this can guarantee the avoidance of unusual gameplay, for me at the very least is definitely something worth using. And look, I don't know if this guarantees the removal of unusual gameplay, and if this guarantees that you're never going to see that bug again, but it worked for me. And at the same time, a lot of the fights you're going to get your clones killed, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. But Red Hood in there with the time extension might also be something that's causing the bug, or that might be contributing to bugs, so just putting that out there. And let me know in the comments if you tried this and if this works for you. But yet again, that's not really guarantee if it works because it sometimes randomly triggers. So yeah, the clone is also dead. Now we're going to let her kill Deathstroke again to get another clone in there. There we go. That clone didn't get hit and she didn't block when I went for that swipe, so far a pretty optimal scenario. Combo and chopped again. Another second special. Combo and chopped again. Another second special. And combo and chopped again. Into yet another second special. And yeah, now we're just going to let this clone die. And we're going to also let Deathstroke die, because that might help to avoid triggering that. It might look dumb, it might look like you're losing damage, but trust me, you're losing more damage if not if your damage gets registered. So, as far as I'm aware, this is definitely worth giving it a try. This is just the first time I tried, so I can't say for sure if it works. But if you're having problems constantly with unusual gameplay from Deathstroke, you might want to try the 6-5-4 sequence. Okay, so now moving on to the next fight, we have Brainiac with Sword of Salvation and Confluent Sacrament with Nora Snow Globe, and we're going to try to tackle boss Fatman. A pretty straightforward boss, if you can manage to not get chain stunned by him. If you can manage to avoid that, then you're going to be fine. Not sure why I went and built so much combo without using the first special to start building up darkness, but now we're doing it. We have Dr. Fate for the power reduction, so we can spam that. And yeah, we're in final form, the first final form, and I think this was the only final form required, because in fights it might be different if you're going to apply or not all your percentage health in the first transformation, but usually if the enemy is in the corner and you can constantly combo and chop him, you're just going to have barely enough time to apply it all. And over here it was a scenario, and I kind of deducted that I managed to do it all in the first go, but by the last like 6 hits, not dealing any percentage health damage. But I was like, okay, it's not gonna take too much away from the fight if I transform again, and better safe than sorry. And I mean, it didn't pay off because we didn't miss anything, but that sucks. That third special there that you might have seen was not meant for Brainiac, by the way, that was meant for King. King was meant to that third special, but the tag and command did not register by the third special command registered, so that's great. Combo and chop again in there. King third special. Re-engage the combo. And now I'm going to combo and chop him hopefully without failing until he has his super move available. Because I want him to get his super move out of the way, because the clones don't have a great time against that. And it kind of gives you a limited timer for each clone, no matter if you play it correctly or not. Okay, so King died, first clone gets in there, now we need to push this dude all the way to the corner. Over there we can combo and chop him, he can't back off into a stun, he can't mess us up. In the corner, every single mistake, it's up to you, not up to the AI. I mean, the game might still lag, but yeah, there we go. He did a jump into a special 2, not much I could do about that at that point, so that sucks. The first clone, a little bit of a failure, though it could have been worse, at least he got 1/3 special out of the way. Now for the second clone, hopefully it goes better for that. So here I'm not taking that many chances, I'm trying to push him with the swipe down, but here I'm like, nah, screw it. I'm not doing it like that, we're eventually going to die if I constantly take risks and not keep pushing him. If he decides to back off into a jump into a second special, it is what it is, and it paid off because he didn't. So yeah, now the last third special is incoming. There we go. And boy, since I started playing in Just 2 Mobile and until now, the back off into a special that the AI is able to do is still mind-blowingly annoying. Because I'm not able to do that. If I was to back off into doing a jump attack, I would get my character destroyed. My character would get annihilated for doing that. My character would get hit, would get killed. But yeah, it's like, nah bro, I can do it, why can't you do it? No, you can't. Only the AI can. But yeah, that was for this fight. Not perfect, but quite successful overall. So here I was in a situation where I had Brainiac available still, but I did not have the Raven or Mr. Freeze available, and I did have Manta, and I knew that Manta would not deal enough damage to clean this fight up, would get close but not deal enough damage. And I still had the Batman Ninja team available, and this was the last fight of the day because we had a cleanup fight also against Boss Harley that I kind of squeezed into another video. I had the League of Anarchy fight with Double North Snow Globe that I put together with the fights on the secondary account. So this was the last one, and we had a Batman Ninja team available, which in the soul raids is going to give me about 170 mil. We have the Manta team, which if I give it Brainiac is going to give me 300 something mil, and we had the both of the teams combined with the Brainiac. And the fact that Mr. Freeze was able to still deal a decent damage with Beta Club despite him not having any passive stats kind of gave me the motivation to also try this team out, because this team out absolutely demolishes fights and easily gets 2 billion damage in our soul raids, where it is able to get a lot of passive stats and have high dot damages. Here we're not getting the passive stats, and it's not going to be a Mr. Freeze scenario where it doesn't matter, my dude, it's still one-shots. It's going to be far reduced amounts of dot damage. I think the highest one we'll ever see is gonna be 6 mil, if even that, more like 5.5 I think. I don't quite remember, but the thing is, in our soul raids, like in which was in Advent of Chaos actually. It's last time I used this, we were getting 24 mil dot damage, so it's definitely a huge downgrade, but at the same time, in some particular scenarios, if your Brainiac is just chilling, you have only one team available, and you also have the Batman Ninja team, that's worth using, because at the end of the day, this does more than the Manta team and more than the Batman Ninja team. Using the two teams separately would have done more damage than this most likely, but I did not have that option, so we went for this. I'm even going to go for combo interrupting, not doing the infinite combo, because with the infinite combo you're going to get less hits in overall, and you're going to stack lethal at a far slower pace, so this is going to be a little bit more optimal. So yeah, this is, I think for this ride it's very hard to justify using this team to an extent, but at the same time, if you use it, it's going to deliver. But yeah, that was about for this video. Like it if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it. Subscribe to the channel, my dudes. I post just mobile content every single day. All that being said, I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. And boy, this was quite an annoying start compared to the rest of the fights. But yeah, goodbye.
This is the future.